Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Joining Me Again podcast, presented by me, Bailey Smith, a guy whose face right now feels like it's in the mouth of Mount Vesuvius. Like, I think I've just put my head straight in the fire, like some action film with Bruce Willis or something. Like, it's so hot right now. But anyway, enough of my moaning and stuff. Welcome back to another amazing episode of the Joining Me Again podcast, episode 4 of this podcast. And as we do with every episode of this podcast, we do a previous guest song recommendation. And for this episode, I'm going to do the song Black Turbine, there we go, by Lake Malice, who are the headliners of the festival that I'm currently at, that I haven't even mentioned yet. I'm at Truefeel Festival today and stuff like that in Guildford, and so that's why I'm so hot right now, because apparently Guildford is Mount Vesuvius. But this and stuff is an amazing festival and stuff like that. I'm doing press work, stuff as I've mentioned previously, and stuff on the main podcast. I'm doing press work and stuff like that for these guys, and they manage, they're the main headliners and stuff of the festival. So opportunity to shout them out, you know what I mean, how fitting is that? They're the headliners here at the festival, they've been previously on the show, they do amazing songs. Of course you've got to sort of give them a shout out when you get the chance. But anyway, on to the main portion of today's episode. Today on the show, this is actually going to be something different because I've got 4 people in one interview at once. I've never had this before and stuff, and it's an amazing band as well. I am here once again joined by Giant Walker. How you guys doing?
Very good.
Good, Ruby.
That intro, I'm so tired. I was like, I was speaking for so long. I was like, I just want to get to the introduction part. Anyway, how are you guys doing? How do you guys survive in Guildford? How? I have to ask that straight away.
That's because it's warm.
It's not usually this hot, to be fair.
I don't know. I don't believe you. I've never been this hot in my life.
Guildford is pretty warm. And
what's the word about it? Is it a microclimate or something?
Oh yeah.
It is a little. It's got its own little tropical climate.
Yeah, it's a shame it's not near the sea, but it is pretty good. I'm a fan of the warm weather, so.
And just on the last thing on that, the reason why I'm saying about that, it was yesterday, it was 19 here and 12 where I live, and I live by the coast. So it is a microclimate.
It was definitely warmer than 19 yesterday. I'm pretty sure it was 25, 26 yesterday.
In Guildford.
In Guildford.
But anyway, enough of me just speaking about the heat in Guildford for some reason, but you didn't expect that one. It's great to catch up and stuff, obviously, with Steff and Jamie, catch up with you guys again. Obviously, you guys are previously on the show. But I'm also joined by Alex and Jordan this time and stuff. You're in here in the podcast fold and stuff, and we've already covered and stuff, how and stuff like that, like the band have been formed and stuff like that. But I'd be really interested in hearing from you, like Jordan and Alex, like how did you guys get involved from your perspective? How did you get involved with the band in the first place?
Well, for me, because these guys used to gig already as a different sort of band back in Newcastle, so I used to go to their gigs quite a lot. And then when you guys were then moving down here, and I sort of slid in really.
Pretty much.
And really and stuff like that, it's because you guys, since I've said in the original episode, this isn't even the first. This is a rebrand and stuff in it and stuff like that. So it's also kind of you formed back, you've been playing together for ages, but this is still kind of a new project and stuff like that. I know we spoke a bit about it before, but sort of, what's it like for you guys to think it's kind of you've got 2 different journeys in music now? It must be quite cool for you guys to think about that.
It's funny because the last time we played here was actually as the previous project, so it's kind of weird, feels.
It is a strange one because I think whilst it is a new project, I think I have to remind myself sometimes that this as a band is still quite new, really. Even though we've played together as musicians for a long time, but it's very much this project is different. It is different to the last project we did, so it made sense for it to be something completely different in name and it sounds, I don't want to say branded, but I'll just say branded. Except how else to describe it.
And sort of, you guys sort of already sort of mentioned it, whatever, and stuff. You guys played here and stuff like that as your previous band. Obviously, this, you know, we've jumped a bit back, sort of Guildford, whatever. But this sort of town, like, means a lot to you guys and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a bit of a hometown gig, sort of in a way for you guys. What's it like, sort of thinking that you guys are gonna sort of play here and stuff like that tonight? Like, it must be cool to you do all these other shows, but to sort of come home, and if you kind of get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's like Steff said, it's been such a long time since we played there, so it's kind of strange, but yeah, hopefully it'll be good.
Yeah, it's nice to come back and, like, I guess at least for us, like Alex is obviously up in Newcastle, so it's a bit of a trek for him, but we're very close by, so the commute to London was probably a record.
Solid 8-minute drive.
Yeah.
It's kind of strange walking past ACM again and seeing Guildford again.
Yeah, it's funny because you're sort of like, oh, it was like nearly 10 years ago that we were studying and were like finding our feet and stuff, and then you kind of think about it harder and you're like, actually it does feel like 10 years.
Yeah.
Like, normally you're like, it's flown by, but in this case we were all completely different people at that point. Like,
It was a few seasons ago.
Yeah.
Also, I've got to say this because I've just thought of this joke, and obviously everybody wants to hear this joke. I've just got to say, I've just thought of this, and I hate if I don't say it. It's kind of like the original band was Lord of the Rings, and this is like The Hobbit. I just really wanted to say it. I was like,
Hobbit's rubbish though, so.
Yeah, maybe
you might not want to say that because people will probably hunt you down.
Also, The Hobbit's the original book, right?
Yeah, it is.
I don't know.
Okay, so
I don't even know.
let's say the previous band is The Hobbit,
Yeah.
and now
we are Return of the King, man.
Extended edition.
Extended edition. Return of the King.
And let's just hope you guys don't do a Rings of Power band. But anyway,
That's why we're on 60s.
I'm telling you, is Rings of Power the Game of Thrones TV show or the Lord of
No, I saw the Rings.
Okay, I did get that right, thank
Yeah, don't
goodness.
worry about it.
See, this is the only show where you'll get people making references they don't understand. One thing I've got to talk about with you guys as well, you guys have got your own beer. Like, I saw that, and that's like, how did that come about? That's like awesome, like, what the heck?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So basically, we played at Northern Monk Beer Festival a few years ago now. Well, I think it's 2023.
Yeah.
And that was up in Leeds, and it was generally like cool vibes. But the brewery that we worked with on the beer, Burn and Soul from Birmingham, the guy who runs it, Chris, was there. Obviously saw us then and just really liked the music and stuff. He's been kind of following us since then, which is really cool. And then he literally like rang me like when we were on tour at the end of last year, like when we were on our album tour, just being like, hey guys, do you know if you fancy making a beer? And we're like, yes, definitely. So
it's in a weird way, it's been on the cards for a while. Like we've always said it would be wicked if like
It was the dream for a long time.
Yeah, like how cool would that be? Like just to have our own, like, because bands seem to do like a lot of bands do like coffee and stuff these days.
That's big on YouTube as well for a while. Like, YouTubers were doing coffee, it was like a big thing.
Yeah, like coffee beans and stuff, but like I think apart from that, I don't know many that have done beers and stuff. Apart from like I made who have like wine and stuff and that ale. But yeah, we were just like, absolutely, let's do it. He was like, what do you drink? I was like, oh well, we like IPA. He was like, yeah, let's do it. I've got some hops ordered, like and that was it. It's so easy to be honest, like to do it. Because he knows how to brew the beer. We didn't. We were like, we like this, and he was like, okay.
Yeah, no, Chris at Burnsville is an absolute legend, and yeah, it was like great to work with him on it as well. So we went up like at the start of the year and helped brew it.
Craft it.
Yeah, I'm saying help, like we kind of stirred some things.
You guys could sell a special edition beer, like this one was actually brewed by Giant, and that could be like the £1,000 version.
It actually is like the one that they've got there. So it's currently like on draft at Burnsville Brewery in Birmingham, and he's currently in the process of getting canned.
So will they just sort of be online, or is there a chance that maybe sort of in the local area to Birmingham or whatever, like sort of, is it just an online thing, or could you maybe even get it at a local sort of bar or?
You'll be able to get it at Burnsville Brewery in Birmingham.
Oh,
they'll sell it, and they'll obviously sell it on draft, and we'll have it in cans, but we'll have a link on our website to sell it.
I was going to say, I'm so happy that it is available online because I would like to try it out. I'm not travelling all the way up to Birmingham. I've done so much travelling recently. My legs are now literally like mush, so I'm not doing more travelling and stuff. Yeah, it was great to sort of jump in and stuff like that, talking about that sort of beer and stuff like that. You guys are going to be releasing. That's awesome. And sort of, looking back a bit, sort of at the history and stuff with you guys as well. But one segment I have to jump into, it's a staple of the Joining Me Again podcast, it's the Show Us the Photos Then segment. And this is going to be, I think it's the first time we've done 4 photos and stuff like that. So basically the whole point of this segment is, it's basically the whole, and stuff like that for people and stuff like that who haven't seen and stuff on these episodes before. It's basically a segment that's, like when somebody will say, I've been on holiday, go on, I'll show you the photos, it was me sort of by the pool, it was me like, at the beach, it was me getting in a fire, I don't know what you do on your holidays. But like, it's basically that sort of thing of, explain to me and stuff what's going on in this photo and stuff like that. It's sort of based off that thing and the sort of why I'm thinking about the holiday thing, because I think of catch-ups, recapping and stuff. This is a show all about catching up with former guests and stuff. So yeah, we're going to be showing and stuff. It's a photo for each of you guys, and basically you're going to be explaining the context and stuff like that behind what's going on sort of in these photos and stuff. So you guys like to jump into that?
Let's do it. Yeah. Let's do it. I'm worried.
It's only got 2 of your social security numbers, so. Okay, so I've got the first photo and stuff here, stuff on my phone right here. Ooh, phone. So the first photo I'm going to be jumping in and stuff like that. It's going to be a photo and stuff for you, Jordan, and stuff like that. I believe this photo here is you and Jamie in the studio and stuff like that. I think recording Silhouettes. Tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, so we swapped instruments.
You know what's bad? I've got so bad music theory knowledge, I didn't even notice. I was like, guitars.
Yeah, we swapped.
Yeah,
I recorded all the bass parts.
Yeah, that's what I recorded the Silhouettes.
Yeah, you did all guitar.
Yeah, one take. I think that was just like downtime between like takes and just like messing about.
So how long sort of does it take and stuff like that, just to sort of people out there who don't know, like how long does it take to even just record like your own section, for instance, sort of how many takes are you doing, sort of what's the sort of time period it takes just to get just like the album sort of done, like for your part? Like?
It depends. I mean, the last time we basically lived in the studio for like a week.
It's crazy.
We just kind of like, did it like song by song.
Yeah. We wanted to do we did want to stay in the studio, like accommodation, like find a studio that had accommodation and like do it that way because we had never done anything like that before.
We also did it different to the last album because, like John says, we did it song by song, whereas the last album we did like everyone's, so like Alex did all of his parts.
Oh, one day.
Yeah, he did like a day of drum tracks.
And then we like swapped with guitar vocal, but this time around we did like just song by song, which was maybe
nice.
Yeah, I think
I enjoyed it most.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it most. It just means you get to see how the songs start to finish.
Yeah.
Just make sure it's done and then move on.
Was it harder with this album or the previous album in terms of the Giant Walker era and stuff like that? Did you find this one sort of easy and stuff to record? Was there more problems? Like, what was it like for this album compared to the previous one?
I think way easier.
Easier.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's living in the studio and stuff as well. You're kind of in the mindset the whole time.
That's it. That's the difference. It's like you just live and breathe. That's all you've got to focus on.
Yeah.
Everyone involved. That's all you think.
And because you're staying there as well, I think like, especially if you haven't gone outside for like a few days, all the days kind of blurred to one big day. Then you're like, I should probably see the sun through it.
Yeah. I love it, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'm definitely an indoor person. Like, I've always just liked being at home. Like, it's just, I think that environment is just like being in the studio and then being like on stage. I think they're the two like my happy places, happiest of places. Yeah, definitely.
I'm just thinking about sort of what it'd be like to sort of stay there for multiple days. I think I'll be the same. I'll be forgetting what day of the week it is and everything.
And you should. That's how it should be. Like.
So basically, you're saying you should be delusional. That's the only moment getting clicked from this episode. Just Jamie officially saying, yes, you should go do that.
Yeah, you should be delusional.
It's the secret ingredient to the album, really.
Delusion.
Yeah.
That could be the name of the next album. Delusion. Oh, it'd be so good.
But like delusion, like D, and then illusion.
Like, capital D.
Not like delusion. I understand. Like, moving on.
This is one for yourself, Steff.
Oh,
Something like that. Tell us about what's going on here, isn't it? I think this is like you guys being in a magazine. I think that's prog-rock. I think
it's prog magazine. Yeah, it was one of the reviews from the latest album. So we were actually this was actually when we were on tour on our last tour, and it's the Hairy Dog in Derby. And I'm pretty sure we had 2 different magazines that we had reviews from. And like every services that I went to, I was like trying to see if I could find the version that had us in.
And we didn't have to request, wasn't it?
It was a proper quest
Was
to
it-
find it.
what was
We
it
finally
prog?
got
Was it prog?
It was prog, yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's a
prog
prog
rock,
magazine, and then it was also Kerrangus at the same time. And I think I managed to corner John to do the other one because I wanted the guys to do it, and they were like, no. So I was like, okay, you can take a photo of me. But yeah, it was actually just before we went on stage at the Hairy Dog and Derby on our last tour.
And what's it like, sort of, like, you know, I mean, you guys, you know, you've been around sort of whatever a bit and stuff like that, you've got some fans sort of whatever and stuff, but what's it like sort of when you see yourself in that magazine and sort of in these magazines and stuff? It must be like crazy and stuff like that, and like sort of legitimising in a way for you guys. Like.
Yeah, it's so mental, like, I mean, especially, like, I guess we're not too young to, like, still kind of remember, like, I remember my best friend when I was at school, like, had a Kerrang subscription, and we used to, like, sit and look through it and, like, circle things and go to gigs from, like, that. So I think it's, like, it is, I guess...
Before people had websites.
Yeah, before it, like, obviously, like, physical media is kind of, obviously not as big as it was, but I think it still, like, definitely holds a bit of a special place, like, in that respect. And, yeah, I think it's just really cool, isn't it? Like, yeah, it's super cool.
Well, for me as well, some of that, because I'm sort of one of those people, so like growing up and stuff, I loved magazine, and I'm kind of like part of the last generation that really cared about all that stuff, like physical publications and stuff. And I just feel like websites and all that, obviously that's amazing, that's cool, but there's just something different about a physical magazine. It feels more real and legit, because anybody can have a website, but not everyone can have a magazine. And like I said, just growing up, I loved sort of magazines and stuff like that, whatever. So when I see bands that I've had on this show, whatever, when they've been featured, I'm always like, that's cool, because I know growing up, I would have read that and been like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. And what's wild as well is, like, there's definitely been quite a few gigs where, like, we've done, like, even on that tour, for instance, where, like, I'll be like on the merch stand and be like, oh yeah, I saw the review in Prog magazine and, like, checked you guys out, and now I'm, like, at the gig, which is just, like, still...
Yeah, you kind of forget that people can still discover you that way.
Yeah.
Like Norman,
Yeah.
like it still kind of, like trips me out when people are like, oh, you just came up recommended on Spotify and listen to it, and now I'm here at a gig, like, buying merch. Like, that to me seems like I just didn't think it worked.
Yeah.
For whatever reason,
Yeah.
like, I just didn't.
What is the most common way then that people sort of find you guys out and stuff like that? And has it sort of changed sort of over time? I know obviously you guys haven't been around for sort of multiple sort of eras or something like, 20, 25 years bands and stuff like that. How do people and stuff like that usually find out your guys' stuff then? What do they say to you?
And to be honest, I think it's just a bit of an accumulation of everything, really. Like you say, like, some people are like, oh, I saw it in the magazine, or a mate recommended you, or like...
It can only benefit you to put yourself in
as many
positions to be discovered, I guess.
Or like, we've had before, like, I think last time I played in Glasgow, like, some guys were like, oh, we're just up for the weekend, we're like seeing what's on, and like, found that you guys are playing, and then just came down. So it's like, it is sometimes just a bit of a, like, look, kind of, that right place, right time kind of thing, I suppose. But like Jamie says, the more kind of places you're around, then I guess the more chance of that happening. So.
I've got to be honest, I'm so jealous that bands can have so many ways they can be discovered, because the way the YouTube algorithm's going at the moment, I don't even know if my channel will exist in the next 2 months. I'm going to save Jamie last. We weren't going to go down the list, but I've got one for Jamie that's a really special one, so we'll save it for last and stuff. But I'm going to move on to yourself, Alex, and stuff. Tell us about the context behind this picture.
Oh man, that was a throwback. That was
your best mate.
2018, I think, or 2019,
I think 2019, I think I saw from it, something like that. It was
So that was after a drum clinic at Wembley Music Centre.
I think it's something about Wembley, I think it said,
And just got there and have a little chat with Matt and ask him a few questions.
Lord Matt.
Right, Lord Matt.
And what's it like, sort of, because I sort of got that, especially from the posts and stuff like that, whatever, and stuff like that, I could tell like this is somebody and stuff like that who's probably an inspiration to your work and stuff like that. Like, sort of tell us a bit about then, sort of, like I said, explain the context of this picture and stuff like that. Sort of what does sort of that mean to you and stuff like that? Like, tell us a bit about that. Like.
Yeah, I think that at that time, especially in uni and stuff, there's so many of the drummers on the course who were kind of discovering that kind of music and getting into that kind of playing and stuff. So it was a huge inspiration for me at that time, definitely. So getting any opportunity to go to a clinic and kind of see it up close, it was, a good opportunity.
And now I'm on to the photo. I can't wait to talk about this. And so
I think I know what it's going to be.
I wonder what it could be, something that's really relevant to this podcast and something that I'm really excited to bring up. Alright, let's jump into it. Come on, Thomas the Tank Engine. Come on, why? Just explain the why.
Why? So, last time we spoke, for whatever reason, I was in a ranty mood and decided to just go off on a tangent about how genres are myth. And the relevance and all that stuff. And then I basically just explained how, like, I think the Thomas the Tank Engine theme sounds great. I think it's a wicked tune, and I would say when you analyse it musically, it's nothing short of genius. So, and then I just sort of made the point of what genre is Thomas the Tank Engine.
The crazy thing about this is that I can't tell where the joke ends and the real opinion begins. We need to have it definitively right now.
There is no joke.
What is your actual 10 out of 10 rating, for real, no jokes, of the Thomas the Tank Engine?
Thomas the Tank Engine. The original theme, 9 out of 10. When Biggie Smalls is superimposed over the top of it, it's a solid 10 out of 10. Could not slap harder. Unbelievable.
You know what's bad? For a second I was like, wait a minute, I don't remember that era with Biggie Smalls. I was like, am I missing something?
Yeah, the Biggie remix.
That's pretty underground.
When I saw that edit, I was just like, that is so amazing and stuff like. I think wasn't there another moment as well when you said, I think you said in that same episode we were talking about vibes and stuff and playlists, and I think you said, you described in a random vibe, and you said, it reminds me of somebody washing up on a shore, as opposed to something like nice and in the original episode.
Yeah.
You were saying like, this would be nice, somebody just washing up on a shore. So it was like the most morbid thing ever, and I was like, should it be okay?
I stand by it. I think describing a song in that way makes more sense than genre.
But what would you call your magazine then?
Magazine.
Let's go for it.
The music magazine.
I feel like magazine would make a really good, like one of those like guns magazines that they sell in like the depths of Florida. Magazine. See, I might be stupid, but I am good at naming things, so that's one thing I have on my side. Take that crap A-levels. But anyway.
That is an underrated skill, to be fair. Like naming stuff is a difficult thing to do.
Validation achieved, that's what
Absolutely.
But anyway, this has been another fantastic episode of the Joining Me Again podcast. Thank you guys and stuff, specifically Steff and Jamie for coming back on the show. And it's been great to have Alex and Jordan coming into the fold as well. You're in the cinematic universe of the Joining Me Today podcast, which everybody obviously wants to get in on and stuff. But anyway, to end the sort of episode, shout outs, and obviously we spoke about Truefeel and stuff like that, sort of check out and stuff. That Truefeel would have happened and stuff like that at the festival by this point, but check out their page anyway and stuff, things they've got coming up and all stuff like that. But for yourselves, promote yourselves and stuff like that, tell us and stuff what you got going on in the future. Just promote what's going on.
Go buy the beer, basically.
Buy the beer, buy the album, buy the vinyl, buy the t-shirt, buy everything else we've got. Buy everything.
Buy a beanie.
Buy a
That's the other thing we've got.
Beanies in time for the winter season.
And we need to get some patches. Maybe we'll have them by the time this is out. We probably
For
will.
the battle jackets.
We're also playing on Tangent.
And a few others.
A natural show.
And a few others, we've played Portals. We've got some cool festivals and stuff coming up this summer. So if you are looking for
Some live obliteration.
Yes.
If you want to hear the Thomas the Tank Engine theme.
We should. That should be a walk-on song, shouldn't it? What we're doing, man.
Yeah.
That needs to happen.
You're honest,
Yeah.
So people are going to have to come down to see if we decided to create the Thomas thing as the war runs on.
I could feel Steff right then. He was just like, oh no, please don't actually do that. I could feel you like, no, don't, please, don't let that go through.
If it was the biggest Wars version, I think it could happen.
Good work.
Good work. Yeah, it's happening.
This episode's been something, isn't it? But any jokes aside and stuff.
And to see us out.
Yeah. Come on.
I was going to take out, I've got to censor that small word for you now.
Sorry, man. We got so far.
Absolutely unprofessional. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. See you guys next time. Peace out.